Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is your man Jackgil, the Jackgil Show, Jackgil Podcast, where everything's talked about. Let's talk about these Dallas Cowboys. Unbelievable, man. Well, let's talk about these folks anyway. Here we go. Well, folks, Jack, get back with you. What a day! What a day! What a day was it yesterday when our favorite team, if you are a fan like I am of a prominent Dallas Cowboy team, then you know what I'm talking about. We arrived, we played a game, and the lights were too big for us. Number four couldn't pull it through. He has to improve. He has to get better. He has to play outside of that web zone or the box that he plays in. He has to do much better job and becoming a leader. I think he lacks in the leadership role. And but this was don't get me wrong. This was a uh, total team effort to debacle this game. It started from the top until the last man on the roster. Were we not prepared? Were we not able to understand the magnitude of it, or did we just take it as a game five of a long season? See, the race is not won by the quickest, right? It's always won by the one who lasts the longest. So if that's the approach we took, I'm down with you guys. But in some effort, sometime you have to show some kind of ability to beat this particular team, the San Francisco 49ers. Because if you don't show that you can play with this team, you'll get dominated again. Because it's been proven not once, not twice, but three times. And that's three times too many. Now, and I'm only saying this on the scale because of a playoff positioning or aspiration to get to the next level, which in my scenario will be a NFC championship game and on to a Super Bowl. And clearly, you're going to have to pass through this team born any catastrophic thing that happens, right? But I do understand that it's any given Sunday. So that aspect of it, I understand the direction we went. Also, you have to put in mind that there's another team out there, the Philadelphia Eagles, who are undefeated, and also I see a Detroit Lions team that has been playing really well. Of course, 5 games doesn't determine a 17-game season, and it's like I said, anything can happen. But first of all, starting with this uh, offense that we were told that we're gonna work like hell in between these 20s, and when we get to the red zone, we're gonna have to put some points on the board. Well, I guess like hell we didn't work between the 20s because we never went anywhere. You start off the game giving up a 75-yard drive. Now we're heads down. The offense get on the field. One, two, three. We out. We start with a 1-yard run. Then we turn around and throw some sort of swing pass that goes nowhere. Then on third down, we throw a ball that's a mile over a guy's head. It's unreal. You can't make this stuff up. Defense starts off giving up a long drive. Now I can live with that because a lot of teams that comes out, they were have your numbers stripped down from what they seen on film, and so they know where you're lining up, right? And this idea that they first 15 to 20 plays they know all go to go around the positioning that you guys are in when they first see it, and that's when the chess match begin after pretty much that first drive. And for me, I just didn't understand my team, the Dallas Cowboys, America's team, that Prescott's team, Michael Parsons' team. What the hell were we doing yesterday? What I saw was a team that looked like a fish out of water. Bright eyes, glary eyes, falling down like leaves, one by one, disgusted, wanting to come out the game, quitting, pouting, no discipline. That's what I saw. It was nothing else that you can tell me that this team did yesterday that you can carry into a film room, film study room to say, hey, look, I love what you did because you lost in all phases of the game. I think the only gentleman that actually played a little ball yesterday on the defensive side of the ball was a Jonathan Hankins. He was able to put pressure, knock a few balls down, get close to the quarterback. Of course, we got close to him a couple of times. He just got the ball out. But that's where DQ comes in. Okay? He loves to get the ball out quick. So what can we do next? How can we put more pressure on him to get him rattled? Now, don't get me wrong. He didn't throw for 1,000,000 miles, right? It just looked that way because everybody's looking so wide open. And the only thing that we as fans see, oh, wow, he's wide open. And the scope of the game is only 250 yards that he threw for. Hell, Dak throws that every game. But the severity of it was he had 4 touchdown passes. That was the severity of it. And not only that, they were short field passes, right? Because they never, to me, they made maybe one long drive, I think it was. They came out the third quarter, and also the beginning drive of the game. They made a 75-yard drive. No, already had punched us in the mouth, right? With no response, no resistance, no nothing. But I'm gonna take that back. I'm push back a little bit on it, and it's because of the aficionados, the officiating. Now, I clearly saw a face mask, first play of the game. True that. But a lot of times when guys are jumped and get back, that's never called. Sometimes guys always lining up offside. That's never called. But for me, as being a Cowboy fan, where in the hell was the goddamn leadership on that team? Who's looking at who? Who's making sure this guy is in the right position? Who's making sure this guy's not lined up outside? Ah, damn it, we looking right down the line, and you mean to tell me you got your whole body lined it up outside? Man, you can't make this stuff up. You can't make this up. You looking down the line. You mean to tell me nobody saw him lined up outside? Not even the coaching staff? They don't have not one damn coach on the sideline that's looking and jumping up crazy like he's a madman on the sideline doing this to get somebody's attention within the 30 or 40-second range, right? Because I think it's 40 seconds. Why are you paying these guys millions and millions of dollars just to sit up there and say, I'm an NFL coach? Nobody pays attention to those sort of details. Every little nick, knack, and corner at that level. Okay, they're supposed to be professionals. They should know. But guess what? They're human. Humans make mistakes. But they always have to be an overseer, right? Somebody has to see these things. But for the Dallas Cowboys, and I've been saying it for years, they are in prison, and I shouldn't use that terminology. But the Joneses has a lock and key on a franchise. Now Jerry goes out and does some good things some of the times, but not all the time. He let players go that he shouldn't. He keep players that he damn sure shouldn't keep as long as he does. He has a caravan of coaches that he brings in that the 10-year tender or 10, 11 year tender with a Jason Garrett was ridiculous. How many 8-8s can you stand? But those are the people that he controls. Because the Cowboys is run as a country club, a good old boy country club, where you have to have your shirt and tie, slacks, nice dress shoes. You pull up in your fancy cars. I'm a star. I'm a cowboy. And until that mystique is out of that locker room, they'll never be able to advance as far as they advance. Those are the things that has to be changed. That culture has to change. If they're not going to have the football mentality and be a football team, they're going to always be thrust into the spotlight and get embarrassed. When you're out there worried about social media, besides looking at a playbook, studying, seeing what's going on, it's okay to have a life, man. I ain't trying to get in nobody's bag. But football is football. I always say why those guys can't wait till after the season to do what they do. They are getting paid millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars to do one thing. That's play football. That's to be in your spot. Whether it's A gap or B gap or N technique or one technique, whatever the hell it is, you get paid to do that. Now, I just know there are some teams that are better than some teams. And clearly, Sunday night football, the San Francisco 49ers were clearly better than the Dallas Cowboys. 2021 playoff game, I give you that. 14 penalties, and we blamed everything on Randy Gregory and the Kellen Moores of the world. Bad play calling, dumb play, undisciplined, and all that stuff. 14 penalties. Okay, we'll see you next year. Get there next year, following year, we go to their place. Same old story. Same old story. No offense, but we the lead offense in the damn NFL. We going up and down the field on everybody. Pretty decent defense, top 5. We go play the San Francisco 49ers in their place. It seems like we can't even get a damn first down. Come to this year. This is the game. Everybody's got us ranked as a top 5 team, top 5 offense, top 5 defense. We go out and get Gilly, my man. We bring in a Brandon Cooks to take everything over the top. Pretty much stays the same on defense. Of course, Trayvon went down, but I don't have any issue with Bland where he's at. I think he's doing a phenomenal job. Now we wishy-washy. Now we go win one, lose one team. Don't even compete. Doesn't compete. We go down 10, 14 points, whatever the case may be. We don't have no fight. But as long as we jumping out 7-0, 14-0, We are running up and down the damn field. We sacking the quarterback. We tackling crazy. We running great routes. We doing every damn thing right. Why is it this team that you guys choke up? Why you guys choke up when you play the San Francisco 49ers? They're men just like you are, afraid to engage in tackling. And what you guys done a great job on uh, uh, Christian McCaffrey the other night. I thought you guys done a great job on him. But the thing that upset me was how come these receivers were running so wide open? I didn't understand that part of it. And I do know one thing. If we ever decide to get a offense to keep us on cue, we would have been, it'd have been a different story. For you have to play better. Big Mike McCarthy, you have to play call better. Dan Quinn, you have to play call better. You guys have to look in the mirror because it's not going to get any easier. I truly believe our front did a great job on both sides. I had no issue with the offensive line and the defensive line. What I was disappointed was on the offensive side was number 4, and on the defensive side our linebackers, our secondary. I thought the front 4, uh, the Cowboys done a great job. I was truly impressed with them. You can't give up 3rd and 10 every time the team grab backs. We have to get to them. We have to knock a ball down. Okay, yeah, we knocked the ball down. Then we turn around, a penalty flag. I think I don't know if this is the NFL, and I don't want to make no excuses, but it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's time for you guys to get a Cowboy to the Super Bowl. It just doesn't. It doesn't add up. It doesn't add up. You mean to tell me that San Francisco team didn't have? I can only penalty I can recall them having is like a false start. There was no holding and no illegal block at the back. Now that LBE, that's how he got hurt. The lineman clearly pushed him in the back into Michael Parsons to hurt his neck. Clearly pushed him. Right there at the play where the running back was running the ball, and I be goddamn, no call. Now I'm not sure if the game was out. Yeah, it was out of hand because it's actually over at halftime because you guys did your job, right? You marched them down the field. I'm gonna say that. I'm not afraid to say it. I've been around football a long time. You marched them down the field. Everything doesn't have to be called. If that's the case, you get called on both teams every single play. Every single play. You can call it. But 4, you have to play better. Fans, don't worry about listen, we got 12 more games to play. The season is not all lost. We still have an opportunity to get into playoff, win a division, because we got to see that same team twice that's leading that division. And usually we split with Philly, so I'm not too much worried about Philly. No, it's the Redskins. Wow, my bad. Oh, my bad. I'm sorry, Washington. The Commanders. It's the Commanders that we have to worry about, right? And I'm only saying that because we hadn't played those guys yet. And I think we played them on a Thanksgiving Day. And usually they come to play on Thanksgiving. And usually the Cowboys be the Cowboys on Thanksgiving. And if you're a Cowboy fan, you know what the hell I'm talking about. So those 3 games, I'm worried about 3 of those games. So I'm really looking for a split with both Philly and the Commanders. We got the Chargers coming up, And that's not going to be a cakewalk. They're going to be ready. They're going to be fresh off their bye week. So they'll know every single play, every single defensive move, every single offensive move that we are making. And that's going to be a tough sledding game. Then we have the Rams coming in. They're going to play their best against us. And then we go see Philly. It's not going to be easy. That's why these games matter. Of course, you can win your division, but these games matter. You have to get back on track. You have to win these next 3 games. There's no way around it. You have to beat the Chargers. You have to beat the Rams. And you have to beat Philly. That's the only way you're going to see yourself back into this picture and get respect. Because now no one respect you guys now. No one respect you guys. And another thing too, man, just so everyone knows that football is football. Any given Sunday in this NFL, teams get beat and comes right back and win. It's a week-to-week league. Ask the Miami Dolphins how it felt to do all the dancing and praising and singing and dancing in the end zone and scoring 70 points at will and doing what you want to do. Everybody's got a record broken. Receivers, running back, quarterback, defensive, everybody. 6 days later, you lose. Ask them how they feel. So, that's the way the ball bounces, folks. That's the way the NFL is any given Sunday. But for the Dallas Cowboys, you have to play better. I just don't see no other way around it. There's no extension coming. I root for you, hope for you to win. But you have to play better. Sometimes I don't know what are you looking at. But we have to get a leader on this team. Whether it's a defensive guy, offensive guy, somebody has to step up and say they're a leader. I know Michael tries to do it, but he's still a young man. I'm not saying he can't be a leader. He still does young man things. Somebody has to be a leader. And if you can't fit that role, you great off the field. You do so many great things off the field. You help out your community. You do what you have to do. You great. But it seems to me that we're going to have everything perfect in order for you to become a leader for this Cowboy team. You can be that bus driver. We have no problem with you being a bus driver, but you got to drive the bus right, man. You can't be reckless with the bus. You can't be hitting curves and gutters and stop signs. You got to be able to drive the bus. I guarantee you the Cowboy fans won't have no problem with you driving that bus and you take us to the promised land. Have no problem with you throwing for 200 yards. With no touchdowns, I'd take it if we get a win. But I know you capable of doing it. I've seen you throw for 37 or 40 touchdowns. You done it. So I just think this offense in particular times doesn't fit Ford's Dak Prescott's scheme. He's not tailored for that kind of offense. I think he's more of a pusher down the field guy, and I think that's really messing up our rhythm. You can see it in our receivers, and you can see it. I mean, when it's working, it's working. So that's what I mean by Big Mike needs to coach. He needs to expand what he's on, right? If you see the West Coast is not working to an effect that like it does work, you need to expand that West Coast a little bit of deeper routes, a little bit more crossing routes, a little bit more active pulling of your linemen to get your running backs more running room, a little bit more motion, little bit more overs, man, deep dig overs, and so it's more to it than just run the West Coast. throwing 2-yard passes. Well, folks, I have been ranting for a minute. I am totally tired. And I just wanted to share my thoughts and views on this Cowboy squad that pretty much got embarrassed, got exposed big time. And, uh, they have to live the fight for another day. But you got to have that fight in you. You can't get punched in the mouth and go run home, or deboed, in other words, right? You have to keep fighting. You can't give up. And remember, folks, you're listening to the Jackgil Podcast Show. Please don't let anyone tell you that you cannot succeed, because you have to first love yourself before anyone else can love you. Folks, that's been my time. This is Jackgil Podcast Show. Jackgil. Appreciate your time. Appreciate you listening to me. Please hit the like, share, subscribe, and share this content. And remember, folks, you Cowboy fans, don't give up. Don't give up. Keep doing what we know that we can do, and that's being law fans. Peace.